What's up? In this video, I'm going to cover the treatment for erectile dysfunction. I'm going to reframe this whole thing for you so it can go better for you in the bedroom and your sex life. So you might be a woman watching this, you might be a man. Either way, this is going to help you. At the end, I'm going to share a very useful link. I wrote a blog post in 2015 on this exact subject. I also want to say I personally have overcome this. How many videos are out there by doctors and experts who are too ashamed to just talk about this? So one of the things that was healing for me is just to be open. Like, yeah, I lose my erection from time to time and it caused problems in my relationships. And here's what I learned. And this is what I'm encouraging you to do about it, okay? So I'm going to go over 3 or 4 reasons why it's happening, and then let's cover the treatment. The treatment for erectile dysfunction is actually quite simple if you want to take a natural approach. Okay, I'm going to talk about the biggest downside to Viagra later on in the video, so be sure to stay tuned for that. All right, so let's talk about number 1, why this is happening. And again, this is what I learned from my own journey and working with dozens and dozens of men on this exact issue privately in my psychotherapy and coaching practice over the last 20 years. So the very, very first thing that you're going to have to embrace is that you're sensitive. Men who have an issue with erectile dysfunction, which I will be changing the name of that as the video goes on because it's such a shitty name. Men who have issues with ED, all right, are sensitive men. What does that mean? It means that you might, this looks outwardly like irritability, defensiveness. I'm fine, not that in touch with your emotions. Maybe you are, but a lot of sensitive men are not, and they don't like that they're sensitive because there's so little room for your sensitivity in a male-dominated culture. It's actually like not okay in the boardroom or on the football field or almost anywhere to be a sensitive man. I want to encourage you to embrace the fact that you are sensitive. And part of what's going on with your cock is it's losing its erection because it's sensing, your body is sensing something feels off or unsafe in the environment, all right? You tend to, being a sensitive guy, you tend to track your partner more than yourself. You track her face. Is she enjoying it? Is she not? What's going on with her? Like you're very externally focused on whether it's working. And men get very caught in the performance game of sex. And I've done a lot of podcasts on this. I've interviewed a lot of sex experts on this, that men get caught in a trap of performing and being like a porn star or being like a rock star in the bedroom. And that doesn't allow the man to be who he is. It's a posture over, it's a strategy over your authenticity. And that leads to a softie, all right? When you're trying to be someone you're not, you're going to be going soft, okay? And in that vein, you're subordinating to a fantasy of who you think you should be. I should be a more powerful guy in the bedroom. I should be more dominant. I should be more submissive. I should be in control. I should have a raging hard-on the whole time. All those shoulds are going to lead you to shame because you're not going to measure up to these bullshit standards, all right? Just be your vulnerable, sensitive self, and you're going to have a better time, okay? Now, one of the other things you do, so you're tracking her or him if you're gay, but often if we're talking heteronormative language, you're tracking her, right? And you're like, is she okay? Is she enjoying herself? And then you're like, there's something wrong with me. My cock's not as hard as it should be. I should be someone else. Okay, so those two are huge. And then you go into your head, you definitely have left your body at this point and your heart and your cock, and you're in your head trying to figure it out. And when you're in your head trying to figure out, you're afraid. So you got to start admitting, you got to slow this whole thing down and admit that you're afraid. Like, wow, I'm going into fear because I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with my cock. I'm trying to figure out, is she enjoying this? I'm trying to figure out what to do and how do I need to change and who do I need to be here? All of this is just like a big chaotic mess, okay? And so think about your cock. It doesn't want to be involved in that. It's just like, and it's losing its hardness And that's a good thing because you've got it all wrong here. You're trying to be someone you're not. You've got all these messages you're subordinating to. You're tracking her more than yourself. It's just a mess. So these are some of the reasons you get into this space. Now, are there other reasons? Always check with your medical doctor, especially if you are not getting hard-ons in the middle of the night. If you don't wake up with morning wood or just hard-ons in general in the middle of the night or in the morning, and you can't remember the last time you had a hard-on, you want to seek medical attention for that, because it could be that it's not a psychological issue, it's a medical issue. That's rare. I actually have never worked with a guy, not once in my 20 years of working with men on this issue, have I worked with a guy that it was a medical issue. Now, it does happen though. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, it does. I just haven't worked with it personally, okay? So check that out only if you're not getting morning woods or erections in the middle of the night. So let's say, if you're feeling like, oh shit, this is a lot, man, it's okay. I'm going to come to the treatment or the solutions. Okay, and there's many things you can do. And the first and foremost biggest thing you can do that my sex coach, I hired a male sex coach and a female sex coach, and the biggest thing the male sex coach helped me with was to trust my cock, okay? Trust my penis, trust my body. It's intelligent. So now we begin to reframe ED, erectile dysfunction, to erectile intelligence, EI, all right? So I want you to just play with that in your mind, erectile intelligence, because it's intelligent. Your cock doing this is intelligent. It's feedback. That's all it is, okay? It's not wrong. It's not bad. It's not broken. It's intelligent, and it's giving you feedback, and your job is to get out of your head and start listening and trusting your cock, trusting your body, okay? Number one, most important principle here, trust your body, trust your cock. Number two, relax. Just relax, okay? This whole mess isn't getting better by you going into your head fanatically trying to figure this thing out or figure her out. Just relax. Stop. Pause in the bedroom. And this is what women will really appreciate, is your honesty and transparency. Good women would rather be with a man who's like, my cock's not exactly working right now. I want to stop and slow down and see what's going on and check in with myself. That's relieving to her because it's congruent versus you saying, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Let's keep going. Let's just keep doing this. You're overriding, and now you're incongruent. You're full of shit. You're saying one thing, I'm fine, no, let's keep going, but inside you're ashamed, you're embarrassed, you're feeling humiliated, and you're afraid. And see, these two don't mix, and a woman sees a man that's like incongruent like that and is like, Neener, get me away. Now, some women will take care of you and try to hang in there with you while you override, because maybe she wants sex too, and she's like, oh God, here we go again, and she doesn't want to trigger you into more shame, so some women will take care of you. So be aware of that, all right? So I'm saying, third thing here is take responsibility for what's happening. Just own up to it. And this took me a while because I was that classic overrider. No, I'm fine. Let's keep going. That kind of dishonesty with myself feels bad over time, right? Sometimes I was able to get it up eventually, but usually that didn't work for me, and it usually didn't work for the men I work with, okay? Another idea you can do, number 4, let's call it, is get help. You could just reach out to a coach, a therapist that knows this terrain and who can guide you through the process of trusting your cock and your body more. Because right now you're in distrust and you're in fear, yeah? And you're thinking Viagra sound like a really good option right now, okay? I'll talk about that in a minute. As you slow down, you want to be seen in your weak spot, in your vulnerability, and just, honey, I'm kind of embarrassed. I'm feeling some shame come up. I'm losing my erection. I don't know what to do. Can we just hang out here? That way, your body, your cock will start to say, thank you. My owner here, the man in charge of this body or whatever, the mind, is respecting me. I'm trying to give him feedback and he's respecting me. Now you're in a relationship with yourself that's like more respectful and kind and compassionate. In the process, it can be really tempting to collapse into your shame pile and kind of be like, never mind, and go in the bathroom and like change the channel and watch a movie, or go to sleep. Now, when you do that, you got to understand the impact on her or your partner is you just went into your shame, self-absorption place, depression, anxiety, fear, whatever, and you left her behind. You dropped her. So I had to learn this with my partner. She had to basically give me feedback like, hey, dude, whenever you do that, I feel dropped. And so if you're a woman watching this, that's something you can do is like, look, it's okay to feel shame. And I'm a person too, and I have needs, and let's, don't drop me here. And it doesn't mean when she says that, she's not asking you to continue to override and pleasure her. She's saying, stay in it with me, stay in relationship, stay in conversation, stay in the game here. It's okay let's both lie on our backs, look at the ceiling, look at each other, just take a few breaths together, maybe some light touching, maybe just some holding, just some breathing together. That tells her, hey, we're in this together, because she wants to be in it with you. She doesn't want to be left, and she doesn't want to be dropped. In this process, you can hit the reset button. This is a reset. You're resetting. It doesn't mean you have to go back in. Often it won't mean that you're going to go back in. Go back in meaning go back to connecting and trying to make love again. Okay, another tip here is don't be so goddamn intercourse focused. This is so important, especially if you're in a heterosexual relationship. Women want lovemaking to be more than intercourse. They want it to be a whole experience, which includes talking, connecting, touching, clothes on, petting. For her, there needs to be an on-ramp. For us guys, it's like, get me in there. And I'm like, I can't wait. And if I don't get in there now, I might lose my erection, and so we got to hurry up and have sex fast. She's spent too long having sex before she was ready. I always ask women in the workshops I lead, raise your hand if you have had sex before you were ready. Every single hand goes up every single time. And some women are still doing that, and that's their work. They have to start standing up for themselves and saying, you know what, I need to slow down. Hold on, I'm not ready. Let's let this thing build a little more. So you've got to retrain your system to be okay with sex being much more than intercourse. It's like way bigger. And I'm still learning this, okay? As a man. I haven't said anything about porn. Why not? Because it's often not the issue, although men tend to make it worse by being chronic porn users. Or even chronic meaning 3 days a week. That could be chronic. Okay, for years, that's like you're training your system to jerk off to a fantasy, an image that's unrealistic, that's not your partner. And that is going to often not make your sex life better. Now, for some men it does, but it's pretty rare. And it also, if it's not transparent, it's kind of you're hiding it from your partner, which also impacts your sex life. So, I'm not going to say don't use porn, but I would say if you're going to be transparent about it. I'm not a porn user personally. I stopped it years ago because it was causing problems for me. And I see it causing problems for most men, especially for long-term sexual fulfillment with a human being. Right? It usually doesn't help with that project. Now we're calling it erectile intelligence. Right? From now on, you're going to call it that. You're going to trust your cock. You're going to slow down, you're going to pause, you're going to listen, you're going to stay connected to her, you're not going to drop her, you're going to feel your shame, you're going to feel under your shame, you're going to breathe through it, you're going to learn to slow the hell down, and you're going to learn to really, really respect the feedback your cock is giving you and your penis is giving you, right? It's just like, feedback, okay, got to slow down. Awesome. Now, Viagra. Yes or no on Viagra? Well, Viagra, unfortunately, it works for so many men. And it keeps men in the same patterns that they're in that often aren't as satisfying for women, which is it's too fast. He wants to go right now. He's ready to go now. He doesn't want to go slow. And it's shortcutting the work you need to do to be trusting yourself as a sensitive, relational human being. And that's okay. You can do that, all right? But I'm recommending make the journey to get more in touch with yourself as a sensitive mammal, a sensitive sexual being who is going to learn how to widen his repertoire of sex, and who's going to learn to trust his body more and be in his body more, because that's actually extremely attractive to other people, particularly whoever you're in the bedroom with, right? So I want you to trust yourself and make the journey to erectile intelligence. And I think you'll find, once I figure this out, I have not had an issue. And in the rare moment that I have, I just do all the things I just told you, and it's like it shifts completely, because I'm like, hold on a second, like I'm going too fast. I'm in scarcity mode. I need to just relax and be with you. And it's led to a lot more fulfilling sexual experiences for me and for the men I work with over the years, okay? So I would pause on Viagra right now, and I would make I'm recommending the natural treatment here, the natural treatment to erectile dysfunction, which is to do everything I just said, okay? In a future video, I'll talk about premature ejaculation. If you want, leave a comment below. I know it's a little vulnerable, risky. Send me a private message, whatever. But get help, okay? And stay tuned for more videos like this. And thanks for being the kind of human that wants to solve this problem.